Hey guys, it's Jaylon. Welcome back. And today I am starting a new project for me. This is a Pan Those Eyeshadows project. And kind of continuing the theme that I'm trying out this year, where I really want to work through my collection of makeup and not just hyper focus on certain makeup products throughout the year. I really want to work through my collection. And I've seen several YouTubers actually do a project like this. So I've seen Paula at A Beauty Guru maybe do it, and Rebecca Morgan as well do projects very similar to this. So I have been inspired by both of them to do a very similar project. I would like to work on around 5 palettes at a time and just kind of focus on a shadow from each palette and try to hit pan on a shadow in each of those palettes. And if I just so happen to kind of work on other shadows in that palette, that's fine too. I'm finding that the palette that I'm working on for my Pan That palette this year, I think I'm gonna work through those shadows fairly quickly. I could be wrong. I could be calling uncle here. I also feel like I need a little bit more versatility because I'm finding that I'm getting the very same look with that palette, and I think I need more options than just that palette. So what I decided to do was to put all of my palettes in Wheel of Names, and I'm going to randomly pull 5 palettes, and from those I'm actually going to select the 5 shadows that I'm going to work on. I have Wheel of Names pulled up. So here is Wheel of Names. So I'm just going to tap this.
And we'll see what first palette comes up. Oh, I should have slowed down the speed, or sped up the speed.
Okay, so our first palette is the Zoeva Cocoa Blend palette. That one is actually has a broken shadow in it, so I'll have to be careful showing that one to you. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this one. So let's do our next palette. Marc Jacobs Iconic Multi-Finish Palette. I'm not sure what shade that's in. So that palette is in Fantasine. Okay, let's choose our third palette. Urban Decay After Dark palette. All right, so let's go for number 4. Urban Decay Elements palette. Wow, 2 Urban Decay palettes. Or Elementals palette, not Elements, Elementals. Okay, and then our 5th palette is going to be the Tati Beauty palette. Where is she? Okay, let me go pull these palettes, pick my shades, and I'll be right back.
2 hours later.
Okay guys, I'm back, and the camera may have moved because I had to move it to get into a drawer over here, but I did pull the palettes and it took me a lot longer than I thought it would to pick my shades. Let me go ahead and show you guys the palettes that I have. So the first one here is the Marc Jacobs, let's see, Iconic Multi-Finish Eye Palette in Fantasine. I know this was a limited edition palette. This is what it looks like. So I have used this before. I can't remember if I put this in a project or what I did. The shade that I decided to pull from this is this shade right here. And it's actually called Fantasy. And it's a matte pink toned nude. Sorry, I have an itch. I guess a blush shade. And in the Lorac palette, it's mostly nudes, so I don't really have a shade that is this toned. So I thought that I could use a shade that had that base. That is a shade I'm going to use from the Marc Jacobs Fantasine palette. The next palette is, it's dirty, is the Urban Decay After Dark palette. And I had barely touched this. I had swatched it and played with it a little bit. Let me get this brush out of here. So this is what this guy looks like. So very colorful. And I decided to go with the shade Backfired, which is this shade right here. So it is a kind of a plum mauve toned shade, and there are no mattes in here. These are all, I mean, I wouldn't even call them metallic. They are very kind of satiny shades, I would say. Let me get a good swatch going. Yeah, those are very much satin shades. So that is what that one looks like. It's very pretty. And I do have Haux from MAC in one of my projects, so I feel like I need some purple based shadows. So I thought that would work well to pair with Haux. Such a weird name, Haux. That's what I'm going to pan with the After Dark palette. And I just got the mirror all kinds of dirty. Next, no, those brushes are crap. Next up is the Zoeva Cocoa palette. This I got from BoxyCharm. At the end of the year, they had like their a massive sale, and one of the shadows actually came shattered. So the shade Full Ganache came broken. So as you can see, that pan is empty. I still haven't repressed it. So I actually have it sitting there on my dresser waiting for me to repress it back into the pan. So it's not gone, it's just loose right now. But this is what this palette looks like. It's very pretty, it's very neutral. So for this palette, I decided to go with this deep dark brown shade in Beans Are White. And that's because the Lorac Pro 3 does not have a really good outer corner shadow, in my opinion. In fact, let me pull it real quick and show you guys. Okay, so here is the Lorac Pro 3. And I am not panning the blacks because I don't do blacks. And the darkest shade in here that's a matte is the shade right here called Dark Brown. If I swatch this, I'll show you guys. I mean, really, Lorac? So that's about as dark as I can get it with 2 passes. Okay, so if I swatch Beans Are White next to it, you guys can see just in 1 pass it's much darker, and then 2 passes, yeah. And see, that's kind of the darkness that I'm looking for in the outer corner. So that's the reason why I put this in here. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna take out that Lorac shadow. So the next palette is this Urban Decay Elementals palette. It's gorgeous packaging. I mean, really, look at this. It's just stunning. And then let me show you guys the inside. There we go. So this is what this looks like. So lots of options, very colorful. And I'm not brave enough to do a blue. So I decided to go with this pink matte shade right here. I wouldn't say a little bit safe for me. Actually, I do have a blue shadow. It's a multi-chrome. So that's the pink matte shade right there. So again, I'm trying to add a little bit of color to my eyeshadow selection here. So that's the reason why I decided to choose that. And that color is Dream Weaver. That's the shade I'm adding from the Urban Decay Elementals palette. The last palette is dirty as all get out. That's as clean as I'm gonna get it. The Tati Beauty Volume 1 palette. So I had not even swatched this. And it's beautiful. I'm definitely not gonna use one of those glitters, but it's gorgeous. It's a very pretty palette. And I had a hard time choosing because there's a lot of neutrals in here. And my Lorac palette has a lot of neutrals already. So I decided to go with this third row up, and it's part of the metallic row. And this palette scares me. These pans are giant. So here is, let me swatch this for you guys. This is what that shade looks like right there. So you can sense a theme here. So I think that will obviously kind of go with somewhat of the theme I have going on. And the other thing is, I think it'll also pair well with this amethyst. I think these shadows will pair well with this amethyst shade. Did that shade just, oh good lord. This palette may also just be really old. So there's that amethyst shade. I mean, maybe not, but no, I think so. I think I can make that work. I want to swatch this glitter. Look at this glitter. You guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see like the multicoloredness going on here. That's pretty. Oh, it's pretty. That is beautiful. I'm a little petrified of it getting in my eyeballs, but that is pretty. So the other thing I was going to say, I was very tempted by another shadow in this After Dark palette. And I was tempted by Scene right here. But, and now I know why I was tempted by it. It's beautiful. And when I swatched it, I was like, oh, yeah, there it is. I was like, oh, it looks exactly like, or very similar to Frosé from Tarte, which I have in a project. I mean, not exactly the same. I think Frosé is pinker and more vibrant. But yeah, there's Frosé. And yeah, they're like, I mean, they're identical. I was like, well, no wonder I'm tempted, because they're almost identical. So that's why I didn't pick it, because I was like, I already have a shade that's that exact shade in a project, and I'm trying to hit pan on this. There's no way I can have both of those in there. So that's why I went with Backfire. What does Fringe look like? Let's just see. Maybe I should do Fringe. Shit, that's pretty. I just would very rarely wear that. Damn. Look at that. That's Sapphire Queen in the Elementals. That's pretty. Ooh, that's a stainer. Dang, look, that stained my hand. Okay, so there are my shadows after I've been swatching and playing around with these other shadows and these palettes. So that's what I'm playing with these 5 palettes, and I'm excited. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will obviously do monthly updates with this project and let you guys know how I'm doing. I don't suspect I'll be hitting pan anytime soon, but I'm hoping to at least have some progress. I'm just hopeful that I don't forget about them, because sometimes I'll have these palettes out and then I'll be like, I forgot to use those. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. You can see Milo over there. I have another friend. And oh, you can see baby kitty's feet over here. Yes, still baby. You guys like my shorter haircut? I cut my hair. Couldn't take it. I feel like I have something on my lip. I think I need more lipstick. Hopefully that doesn't look bad. And I don't have lipstick on my teeth. Gotta watch out for that. Now there's lipstick on IG. Oh, is there a pimple starting? That is a pimple starting. Bastard.